Well, good morning, Marcus.
Good morning.
How's everything going?
So far, so good.
Okay, great. So, how's your daughter doing today?
She's good. She's just, growing, eating a lot, not letting me sleep.
I know, such a beautiful young lady.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you just rocking and roll with that.
She gets it from her dad, can I say?
I don't know, I have to think about that. Look at the mom a little bit. I don't know now, Marcus, about that. But anyways, I want to let's go ahead and let's just stretch a little bit. Before we get started, you just went over your, skill transfer, Dave. Just a little opportunity to get a little stretching out, so we can get started. Ooh, did you hear that pop?
Yeah, I got a bad back. This is as far as I go.
Oh, God, okay. Marcus, come on, get with it.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so relax. Everything
I'm
feel good now.
Thank you.
So great, great skill transfer there. All Just want to go over it. I want you to start off with, tell me what went well on that.
Alrighty. What went well was, the agent was very engaged. We had a good conversation. We had an icebreaker at the beginning.
Absolutely. Love the icebreaker,
Thank you. I like to do that to loosen the agent up, talk about some football. I know he's a big football fan because he was wearing his Chicago shirt.
Okay.
Sweater. So, just an observation I made. Just to let him know, hey, we're just here to talk about some things to help you out. Let's see, what else went well. The WIFMs, that was a big one.
That's a big one. Great job on that. That's awesome because it's like they need to know, why it's important, what's in it for everyone, okay?
Right.
So go ahead, I'm sorry.
He identified, how it helps the company, the agent, and the customer. When we related back to the promise immediately, even before I asked him, he said, yeah, anticipate needs. He needed a little direction when we focus on what metric it affects, but once I told him, what a metric affects directly, he knew exactly which one it was. And, it was just, I think he got I know, I don't think
absolutely.
I know.
Absolutely.
That he got a lot from the skill transfer because he's very pumped about it. He just came from Tier 2 to Tier 1, and in Tier 2, not a lot of chances of asking for that auto refill as we have through Tier 1. And, he's absolutely right. Yesterday and today, he's just been knocking them out. And this is just something to help him do even better, so I know he's going to succeed with this.
Absolutely. And Marcus, you're not giving yourself credit. There was some more things that went well. I'm not going to overwhelm you here, but, so think of what type of questions were you asking him that really got that information that you needed to identify what was going, what was his understanding of the auto refill?
I asked him open-ended questions.
Absolutely.
Just to make sure that he would get an understanding, not just yes or no. And we made sure that he understood. He would often repeat back what I would say, or he would clarify something that was stated previous. So these open-ended questions really helped me know that he knew exactly what this was about.
Absolutely. Because definitely he had a takeaway with that. You
Right.
could see that, by you asking those open-ended questions, really pulling that information out of him, it really, got what you wanted, out of that. I just love how you told him about being assumptive, not just, asking the question of, do you want auto refill? Right. You told him that, no, we want to basically, let the customer know the value and benefits of the auto refill and just sell it to them and say, hey, let's go ahead and take care of that today for you.
Right.
So that great job on that. I like how you made him redemonstrate what he understood from your demonstration, because your demonstration didn't, reflect that. He sort of took it in his own hand, but after asking those open-ended questions and then getting him back on track, then he demonstrated properly. So great job on that. A lot of self-discovery for him. He really, you could tell that he was taking the feedback really well, and he was, those light bulbs was coming out. He was like, boom, boom, boom. He was giving it to you. And I like the scenarios you gave. Lots of smiles and praise, He really enjoyed that. How you tied it back into the promise. And then you got him to open it up, say, hey, what does that, part of the promise, anticipate needs, basically. And he told, you got him back on focus with what metrics. So he understood, wow, if I do this on the initial first call, then I'm taking care of that customer's need. So you tied it right, well back into the promise.
Thank you.
So awesome. Great job.
Appreciate it.
Outstanding. So Marcus, one or two things, if you could do this skill transfer all over again, what would you do differently?
That's always the hardest part. you're always good at saying what you did well, but what you need to improve on.
I know, right?
Let's see. One thing that I would do better.
So how about when you start talking about anticipate needs and the
Probably
promise
develop
book?
it a little bit more.
So how could you have done that?
I mean, he did say it helps anticipate needs, and we were real quick to say, yeah, that way the customer doesn't call back. But we could have went in depth a little bit more. For example, we could have read from the promise book what the anticipate needs are, and I could have asked him right there. So if we ask assumptively, and if we give these benefits, are you meeting these requirements?
Absolutely.
Just check for clarification.
Check for clarification. Basically, we want to make that a culture, right? We want to make sure that they're living the promise and basically make sure he really understands that. So, like you said, not only just, let him say anticipate. What does anticipate mean? What does that mean? Let's open up. Let's read it together. So tell me, so then you can really check for his understanding then, right?
Right.
Based on that. So how would you, let's see. So how does that tie into promise? That was one of my big words. So give me something else. Anything else that,
During the demonstration, when he redemonstrated it, just ask him as to afterwards, the difference between the first time he demonstrated and then the second time. Like, what was different about it? Why is this one better?
Absolutely. So that's the way that you really check for understanding. That was one of my big rocks as well, because we want to make sure that he's able to do it flawless, so that before he leaves that you've really checked for that understanding and he's going away with a takeaway, right? You want to make sure that he goes out so he knows exactly how he can demonstrate that on the phone. So when you listen at him on the phone, then he's actually demonstrating it accordingly. So great. So those were my, really two big rocks for you, because we really want to instill the promise. So just tell me, let's go ahead and let me know basically how you're going to do this differently going forward with the demonstration and actually tying that promise back in.
Okay. Well, when I do the demonstration, I'll go ahead and ask the agent, how does that tie into the promise?
Okay.
We'll look for the behavior that it ties into and just check for understanding.
Okay. And how are you going to check for that understanding?
Well, we'll go ahead and pull out the book to the page that the part of the promise is reflected on. Read over it and then just ask questions. So by doing this, in this case, how to refill, by asking assumptively, by offering these benefits, do we anticipate the customer's future needs and educate them on options? Have we done that?
Absolutely. I'm sorry. And that's how we definitely will tie that back into that promise. You were talking about his demo, so that was one of the things really, doing that, making sure you're checking for that. So how would you present that a little differently to him going forward the next time?
With his demo?
Uh-huh.
Well, after I present my demo, just make sure that when I do my demo, that it's on point. I'm doing what I'm asking him to do, asking assumptively and offering the benefits. And then when he does it, if he's not doing it on the first try, just stop him right there and have him do it again.
Okay.
And once he does that, then we'll compare the two that he did. What didn't he do on the first one that he did on the second one? Why is that better?
Absolutely. Okay. So tell me when you're going to put this into action.
In my next coaching session.
When is the next coaching session?
Well, within the hour, because I have to do a hot lap with him.
Absolutely. So you can do the hot lap within the hour. So great job on that, Marcus. A couple of things we can do to tweak this. I want you to make sure that you invite me. As usual, put me on the calendar. Send it to me so I can be part of your success.
Okay.
Anything that you need from me?
No, I just appreciate the feedback. It's it's always good because I might not catch it while I'm doing it, but after I reflect on it, so it's just going to help me train them better, and I appreciate that very much.
You're very welcome. So get out there and rock and roll. Live the promise.
That's right, baby.
Woo-hoo! Great job.